member of steering committee of a Boycott Turkey Campaign and a member of Kurdistan Solidarity Network, Daniel Brown. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Let's start with Turkey's war on Kurdistan. Can you give us a brief overview of what's happening now in the region of Kurdistan, in particular about Turkey's invasion of South Kurdistan? What do you think is the aim of the Turkish government, domestic and foreign policy in the region?
Yeah, so I think what's going on in terms of Turkey, I'd say that their aims are very expansionist. Clearly, with the occupation of Afrin and other bits of other parts of northern Syria, I think it's very similar. What's going on in southern Kurdistan is it's kind of this similar pattern where they're clearly targeting civilians, kind of villages, even agricultural land, and also, um, you know, engaging in ecological destruction and exploitation. So right now there's kind of been destroying forests and taking like 400 tons worth of trees every day from southern Kurdistan, and also bombarding villages. And I think it's clearly a campaign of intimidation, and they are aiming to displace Kurdish people and other ethnic minorities in the region so that they can take control and exploit those areas, which is what they've been doing in northern Syria, and also in within their own borders in Kurdistan. Um, so I think clearly it's I guess it's been compared to kind of a neo-Ottoman in the sense of a very imperial sense of expanding their borders. It's something they're also doing outside of Kurdistan in Cyprus. So yeah, that's how I describe it, I think.
Why does the UK still list the PKK as a terrorist organization, even given a decision such as the ruling from the Brussels High Court that the PKK is not a terrorist organization?
So I think because the British government obviously has quite strong links to the Turkish state, it becomes to them it's less of a kind of human rights issue and becomes more about uh, politics. And despite the fact that the Turkish state uh, is clearly very repressive and dictatorial, and obviously we've seen with the case in Belgium that listing the PKK as terrorists is a very questionable decision, especially given the fact that they played a really key role in fighting ISIS. So I think from the British government, it's very cynical that they continue to list the PKK as a terrorist organization. I think it's more to do with the fact that they would like to continue to support the dictatorship in Turkey. You can compare it to South Africa, where the conservative government used to call the ANC, the African National Congress, who were fighting apartheid, they used to call them terrorists. Which obviously, looking back now, we can see that was not a very accurate description. So I think it's a similar case to that, in which the UK government um, is cynically supporting the Turkish state because of economic links it has to Turkey, over recognizing the fact that the PKK has been involved in serious peace negotiations that broke down because of the regime in Turkey, and has also played a key role in the region in fighting ISIS and protecting Yazidi communities from kind of the ISIS genocides. And when you compare the Turkish state's links to terrorist organizations in the region, you start to think that the people the British government are calling terrorists are not the terrorists. It's actually the Turkish state and the jihadist groups associated with the Turkish state that should be kind of where people are focusing their attention when they're talking about terrorism in the region.
How can individuals boycott Turkey and how can people support campaign? Why is it important to boycott Turkey as it's summertime now and from Europe many Kurds are traveling to Turkey by using Turkish Airlines as well. So can you tell us a bit more about how can the individuals can boycott Turkey?
Yeah, so especially now, a big part of it will be tourism. The tourism industry in Turkey is very strongly linked to the Turkish state. So obviously, that's a key part of where they get the money that they then use to buy arms and to continue their repression of people within Turkey's borders and also in other parts of the region in Kurdistan. Um, so importantly, there, I think it's key to target key companies linked to the regime, such as Turkish Airlines, which is run by the state, and then TUI, which is a major tourism company, which has these links to the Turkish state. So I would say that kind of tourism is what we're aiming to boycott. Obviously, understandably, people have to visit their family, and that's not something we're necessarily calling for a boycott of. But in terms of tourism, especially Turkish Airlines and TUI, and then kind of other key brands we're targeting are Beko because of their links to the Turkish regime and Turkish arms manufacturers. So that's the fridge company Beko, and Nike because of their links to Turkish sporting institutions, which are again very linked to Turkish state, often used to promote military invasions. It's something we've seen in the past at football games with kind of military salutes done by the Turkish football team. And then as consumers, boycotting those products is going to have a really powerful effect. And then spreading the word saying why you're boycotting Turkey on social media. You can follow our Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. We also have a website. And if people want to get involved more directly, they can always get in touch. And then there's also at kind of universities, students can push for their university or their student union to divest from key companies that we're targeting. We have more information and resources on our website in terms of what companies are and there are that are connected to the Turkish state and kind of exactly what those connections are. So I think it can be really powerful, a boycott like this, as we've seen with the anti-apartheid movement and also the Israeli BDS movement. And that's why we have worked with the Palestinian BDS campaign in terms of how to run our campaign. And I think people can have an impact even if they're just spreading the word on social media. It's really important. So it's something that everyone can get involved in.
Member of steering committee of Boycott Turkey Campaign and the member of Kurdistan Solidarity Network, Daniel Brown. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for your valuable comments today.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks so much. It's good to speak to you.
Thank you. Thanks.